Have you ever stopped and wondered what really holds modern JavaScript together? Well, in this explainer, we're cutting right to the chase. We're going to look at the fundamental rules and the essential data types that pretty much everything else is built on. Let's jump right in.
So what are those fundamentals, really? Think of this as a journey from the ground up. We're going to start with the rules of the road, and then we'll get our hands on the actual building materials of the language.
All right, first up, we need to understand the core principles and standards that shape how modern JavaScript is actually written. And it all kicks off with one simple but incredibly important little line of code. So this little statement, use strict, might not look like much, but trust me, it's got a whole history behind it. You see, as JavaScript grew up, this became the way for developers to say, hey, I want to use the modern, less buggy version of the language. Now, a lot of tools turn this on by default, but when you see it, you know you're looking at code from someone who cares about writing clean, modern stuff. Okay, building on that idea of modern standards, let's talk about something that really separates the pros from the amateurs, writing code that other people can actually read and understand. And this is absolutely key. Just getting your code to work isn't the finish line, not even close. Professional, future-proof code has got to be clean and easy to read. It's a sign of a seasoned developer, and it makes working with a team, or even just fixing your own bugs later, so much easier. And check this out. It perfectly shows what I mean. On the left, everything's just jammed together on one line. Yeah, it'll run, but it's a mess to look at, right? Now look at the right. Just by adding a simple line break, it's instantly obvious what's going on. This isn't about making it pretty, it's about making it clear. So you might be thinking, where do all these rules and best practices even come from? It's not the Wild West, you know? There's actually an official rulebook that dictates how JavaScript is supposed to work. Which leads us to a really important question. What do we call this official standard? Because knowing this is the key to understanding why JavaScript sometimes behaves in, well, let's just say some pretty weird ways. And the answer is ECMAScript. This is the official spec, the rulebook that JavaScript is built on. It's maintained by a group called TC39. So when you run into some bizarre behavior in your code, chances are it's not actually a bug. It's a feature that's written down plain as day in the ECMAScript standard. It's the ultimate source of truth. Okay, so we've got the rules of the road down. Now let's get to the fun part, the actual building blocks themselves. We're talking about the primitive data types, the absolute simplest forms of data in the whole language. And here they are, the core ingredients for our JavaScript recipe. We've got numbers, strings for any kind of text, and booleans for true or false logic. And then we have these three special ones that handle some pretty unique cases: null, undefined, and symbol. Let's break them down one by one. First up, we've got number. Super straightforward, right? It handles all your typical numbers. But just so you know, for those crazy times when you're dealing with gigantic numbers, like way beyond what a normal number can handle, maybe in science or high-level finance, there's a special type for that called big int. Next up, Boolean. The easiest way to think about this is like a light switch. It's either on or it's off, true or false. That's it. This simple idea is the foundation for all decision-making in code, that classic, if this is true, then do that. All right, now for a classic mix-up, undefined versus null. Here's the deal. Undefined just means a variable has been created, but nobody's put anything in it yet. It's like an empty box by accident. Null, on the other hand, is an intentional empty value. Imagine you ask a server for the temperature, but the sensor is broken. You don't want it to send back 0 because 0 is a temperature. Instead, it should send null, which clearly says I have no value for you right now. It's deliberate. Symbol is a little more advanced, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It creates a value that is 100% guaranteed to be unique. This is super handy in big, complex apps like those built with React, where you need to make sure components have unique IDs so things don't get mixed up. So we have all these different data types, but how do we actually check what type of data we're working with? Well, for that, we use an operator called typeOf. And this little guy leads us straight to one of JavaScript's most famous and kind of funny quirks. So here's the million-dollar question. We know that null is its own special primitive type, right? It means intentional nothingness. But what does JavaScript's typeOf operator think it is? The answer, well, it's probably not what you're expecting. Let's just walk through this table. The type of a string is, you guessed it, string. The type of a number is number. A Boolean is Boolean, makes perfect sense. Even undefined reports its type as undefined. But then we get to null, and the type of null is object. Wait, what? That's not a primitive type at all?
And there you have it. This is a famous historical bug from the very first versions of JavaScript. They never fixed it because changing it would break countless websites. It's become a classic gotcha question in tech interviews, and it's the perfect example of why knowing the language's weird history and its official rulebook is so important.
And that really brings it all home. When you understand these fundamental rules, these building blocks, and even the weird quirks of the language, it completely changes how you see your code. It's the difference between just writing instructions and truly understanding the language you're speaking. Knowing the rules really does change the whole game.